Hey, so when I was in network marketing opportunity before this one, and that was like years ago, I remember my upline and I decided to hand out leaflets on the street in Dublin. In Dublin, I'm in Ireland, and so I don't know, we printed off like dozens or maybe hundreds of leaflets and went to one of the main streets in Dublin. And one thing I remember that the crowd used to look much more busy somewhere else. And every time we went there, the crowd looked much more busy somewhere else again. It was probably just in our heads, but I remember it was extremely difficult to hand out those leaflets. And on top of that, I was embarrassed for some reason. I didn't want anyone to who knew me to see that I was doing it. I had lost my job during the previous recession, and so I was trying to build a network marketing business and make some income. So I remember that day was actually quite a good day, and I managed to get quite a few people to come to me, and we had a tiny office. Actually, that was a great thing to have. And so I remember a lot of people came to me, follow the address on the leaflet, and it was just around the corner from the main street. And I ended up signing up 10 or 11 people. Imagine, I thought I was flying. I thought I was gonna make tons of money very quick, and my upline was actually delighted. She was actually surprised that I could do it, and she was telling everyone, "Look at Edita, how many people she signed up in just one day." And by the way, my name is Edita. If we haven't met before, thanks for tuning in. And I'm a network marketer like you, and I struggled like crazy, following all the things that my upline was telling me, including handing out leaflets on the main street and city, and chasing everyone and going after everyone. And I quit two times, and in my third opportunity that I'm in now, I discovered a completely different way to build a network marketing business. It changed everything for me, and I'm sharing this information with other network marketers now, with the hope that it's gonna cause some sort of a breakthrough for other people too. So so back to the source. So yes, I signed up. It sounded like a crazy successful day. I signed up 11 people, and I took their contact details. I took their phone numbers. I thought of what next thing we would do together. Thought of how I'm gonna educate them. Thought of how I'm gonna teach them through building their own business. I remember the leaflets that we were handing out were talking, were saying something about extra income, and it made sense to us because it was a recession time. That recession was very, very bad in Ireland. So many people lost their jobs. So obviously, we thought so many people would be interested in making extra income. And they were. A lot of people actually turned up and signed up. Now, guess what happened next? What happened next was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Out of those 11 people that joined me, none of them ever responded to any of my messages. I sent a few follow-up messages on the phone to each of them, telling them what to do next, telling them what this is all about, and none of them did anything or even responded. Maybe one guy actually responded a couple of times asking some questions, but basically nobody did anything ever. So you can imagine my all the enthusiasm that I initially have had. It didn't last very long, right? It worn out. It wore out like very quick, very quick. And I don't know. I was very disappointed. It was very, because I put a lot of hope in that. And I, back in the day, when I remember that, when I think about it now, I didn't know so many things. And I didn't know, I did do what my upline said, and she seemed very motivated. She seemed, she had a charisma. She managed to work with people very well. She managed to motivate people very well. But all she was teaching us to do was, talking to friends and family, handing out leaflets. And the way she was telling us about it sounded good, was giving us hope. And we thought we'd be successful. And however, soon after that, I actually quit. What the methods that she was teaching us didn't work for me. And you know what? The worst thing about it was that I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought that I was doing something wrong, and I thought I was a weak person. I thought I lacked motivation. I thought I lacked some sort of personal qualities that would push me through everything. And all those difficulties, I thought that I have to grow a thick skin and be sort of courageous facing all that rejection, all those objections, all those weird faces, those, like, I still remember the way people look at you even when you hand out them leaflets. I remember how difficult it was to see that rejection before you even give them something. People don't even take a leaflet that is free, that costs them nothing, that doesn't even cost them time, and they don't want it. They do not want it. And I remember those faces. And well, if something changed in me after that experience, is that I now, if uh, there is someone on the street handing out leaflets, some giveaways, I always take it. I know how tough it is just doing that. So anyway, so when I joined again my network marketing, my third opportunity, which it took me by surprise. I wasn't going to, but I just bought into this new idea, that my current upline was telling me about. It sounded really good, and it was the right timing for me, to be honest. So when I joined, and eventually when I ran into these other principles and these other strategies, and these other methods that are not pushy, only then I discover all the things that top earners in network marketing actually do. And the funny thing is that they don't do any of that stuff that all the normal, in quotes, all the normal network marketers usually do. They don't. And I saw why. It's just not possible. There is no time leverage. You can't keep going after people who either reject you or they sign up and then do nothing. So how long does it take to rank advance once? How long does it take to find a few people to just rank advance once? I'm not even talking about all the other ranks, and I'm not even talking about getting to the top ranks. When you think about it, right? When you think about it, working that way, it's just not possible to build a solid business. I didn't realize that. And I was bought into that idea of only one recruit away. I was. For some reason, I don't know, that was silly. Now I can see it was simply silly. And so I learned so many things that top earners do. I am not a top earner, not yet, but I'm heading that way. I know what they do, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing those same things that they are doing. That's the best thing you can do for yourself if you want to make a living. If you don't want to just have an extra tiny income, or, just pay the bills or something. If you want to make a living, if you want to go all in, and if you want to build a solid business, look at the top earners, look at what they actually do. If you trace back up, in your line, in your network marketing opportunity, if you look at the people at the top and what they actually do, they are not going to the streets to prospect. I doubt they are using Facebook Messenger a lot to get prospects. It's just not possible to talk to that many people every day, especially if you're going up after absolutely everyone. And so the lesson for me, which I didn't realize it was the lesson for me that day when I signed up 11 people who didn't do a single thing, any of them. I didn't know it was a big lesson. Now I know it was a big lesson. Top earners do not go after absolutely everyone. They don't waste their time of signing people up who are not going to do anything. That's a waste of time. There is no time leverage. There's no time freedom. There's no mental freedom. It's stressful, it's disappointing, and you don't want to be getting up every morning to get disappointed again and again and again. If you got disappointed for a few days in a row, what makes you believe that you're not going to get disappointed today or tomorrow? Okay, so top earners do not go after everyone. They are selective, they are wise, they know what kind of people are more likely to sign up and to do the work. And like one of my favorite mentors was saying, the way you bring people into your team defines what they're gonna do afterwards. If you bring people into your team who just want extra income, who don't know anything about network marketing, who hate network marketing, and you only trick them, I'm talking in general, I'm not talking specifically about you. But if you bring some people who don't even have a good opinion about network marketing, guess what's going to happen? Or if you bring some people into your team who are not business minded, guess what's going to happen when they actually join? If they manage to believe in this nice idea, and for 1 day, for 2 days, maybe sometimes a month, and you know it yourself how excited you might be in the beginning, and then how that excitement and motivation wears out eventually when nothing is happening day after day after day after day. And I know, what else is very common in network marketing, that just to get people to sign up, network marketers promise them everything. They promise them to do the work for them. They promise those 3-way calls, those, getting prospects, getting leads for their downline. But how can you do it if you can't even find recruits for yourself? And then even if you do, imagine doing 3-way calls for a bunch of people who are not willing to do any work for themselves. It's just not possible. It's a dream that cannot really come through. And I don't know what I was thinking back in I was bought into this idea of how of prospecting and going after everyone, for whatever reason I wasn't thinking. And only when I learned the new ways, right? When I learned the new ways, I realized, oh my God, it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. So anyway, if you would like, so I put a document together of 5 things that top earners do, and I have to say, a lot of those things surprised me, but surprised me in a good way. Surprised me in the way like, oh my God, how did I not see this before? Right? And when I discovered those things, I started seeing them everywhere. All the different people that I know are successful in network marketers are doing these things. And I put a list together. I put a list of 5 main things. It's not everything, probably. It's 5 main things that top earners do. And I'm doing those things. So I think I have a link in this description here, so you can click it to get the it's a short PDF. It's just, I just listed the 5 things, and it's just an amazing, it's been an amazing journey for me to discover that. And but as soon as I embraced doing those things, it changed me as a person. I'm a completely different person. I went from all the way from that shy, and I didn't know how shy I was before I started in my opportunity. So I went all the way from that shy, networker who was afraid to. I was afraid to talk to my friends and family. What the hell? That's not normal, right? So I went all the way from there to doing Facebook Lives, which I would never thought I would do in my life. It's crazy. Me doing video is just crazy, but here I am. And so I had this big epiphany at some stage. It's not about the personality you have, it's about the things that you do and how you connect with those things that you do, and whether they hurt your integrity or not. If they do, and if you can be very honest with yourself, if what you do hurts your integrity, you just cannot last very long. So anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. Grab that document that I put together, the 5 weird things top earners do. Thanks again. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon again. Bye now.